by far the highest ride I've ever done in my life. 2200 meters. I need to get home and sleep. Jeez. Hey pillars, and welcome back to another video. This is one of my training videos. I never got around to actually putting it on the channel, but this was back in July, and this was some good riding that I wanted to share and just my overall experience of riding in Georgia. So we will be taking a look at the course profile for today. I called it Georgian Adventure, July 23rd, 2021. And this was probably the longest ride I've ever done in terms of elevation. We have 2,354 meters. So you can see that we're riding around the main city, which is Tbilisi, and leaving it, which is the capital of Georgia. And just the amount of climbs that you'll see in the profile on the top left just goes up and up. So I do have some stats that we will check out on Strava later at the end. But I just want to give you guys an idea of the ride in terms of how hilly it was. And at this point in time, I'm still regaining my fitness back from my surgery that I had back in February of this year. So this ride was very, very challenging, and I've never ridden something like this in Canada. So even though the ride was only 132 kilometers long with the 2,300 meters of elevation, that is very, very difficult to get in Canada. At least for me, it was roughly 1,000 meters you would get even on a long day, a 3-hour, 4-hour ride. So this ride was 7 hours. We're gonna hit a max speed of 84 kilometers per hour, so very, very fast. I don't know how accurate that is because on Strava it says 72 kilometers, but just the descents here were amazing. So all in all, a really good day on the bike, but my fitness will slowly get better as time progresses, especially riding in the mountains. So this was at the beginning of the ride with Giorgi Sagan, Giorgi, and we are riding up the first climb. And like I said, climbing is very new to me in the sense of I've climbed in Canada, but these climbs are no laughing matter. They take a good chunk of time to finish. Where in Canada, you get over them relatively very, very fast. So we're doing a nice climb. And I do talk throughout this vlog, so it'll be a little bit of me chirping in and giving you guys my 2 cents in terms of training and then the actual vlog. So we're at a grocery store and we got some RC Cola. No Coca-Cola, no Pepsi. We got the RC Cola, get the carbohydrates back in. We're taking a break. We're about 35, 40 kilometers in. The climb was pretty solid that we did. Roughly, how many kilometers that climb? 4 kilometers? Climb.
Oh.
3?
Big.
6?
Yes.
6 kilometers, he's saying for the climb. 5%, 6%?
Yes.
Yeah. So the climb was pretty good. Just stretching out the legs, feels good to be back, good to be training, get the smash some carbs in.
Slowly 20 kilometers uphill.
Slowly 20 Ks uphill and then downhill. Let's go. So it was after that first climb and getting the carbohydrates back in that we're able to start seeing the other hills that we're gonna have to tackle on the route. And like I said, the Georgian cycling scene is very, very small and tight-knit in terms of the top racers. There's not a lot of local, just fun riders, so it's very hard to find people to train with. But Giorgi is a really solid training buddy. And the driving in Georgia, at least in the main city in Tbilisi, is pretty hectic, and overall in the whole country, driving is pretty unsafe depending on the time of day and area. But when you do get to the country, at least 30 minutes out from the main city, it's very quiet, it's relatively safe, so it was very enjoyable. The quality of the road is something I want to note too, that it's really easy to get good quality training because the roads are so smooth and so big. And then you can just see the mountains in the distance that we're going to be riding were just beautiful as well. And you will see the quality of those roads because I was blown away. But you know, people are beeping, waving at you, being very friendly, which is something that you don't really experience too much in Canada, at least from my own experience. But I was very astonished by these mountains. I've never seen anything like this, so it was one of my favorite rides to date. The scenery here is freaking gorgeous! Yeah, the crosswind's really bad, but the scenery here, my brain cannot process those mountains. Gorgeous. Yeah, so like I was saying, get the training done, no excuses. He got some water, so I'm excited. Let's see. Come here, what'd you get? Water.
I am winning.
See, he doesn't like having bottles, so he just bought his bottles on the road. Okay, catch you guys. Drink. Yes, thirsty. Put the bottle, oh, okay, that's not aerodynamic, I don't think. This, no arrow. Hey, I like the fact I just took in. You're Giorgi Sagan, you got the rainbow jerseys like Peter Sagan. Yes. So, right now we're just riding with Giorgi, and this road is amazing. Like no cars, paved, cars respect you. And the one thing I love about Georgia is that there's water. So you will never see this in non-European countries, at least to my knowledge. like maybe in Asia and maybe Africa, at least where I was in North America, there was never fresh water on the side of the road or filtered water where you can just fill your bottles up. Obviously there's gas stations, but they're pretty mad or angry when you ask to fill your bottles up. At least that's my experience. So I'm gonna get Sagan. Sagan, may you fill my bottle up, please. Very nice guy. Nicest guy I've ever met. So it's just hard filming. So he's gonna set his bike down gently, rinse, and then fill up. Thank you very much. So those bottles are specialized bottles that say sticky. Yeah. Out. Yeah. And I'll chug that. You want to drink first? You drink. Drink. Fresh? Good? Cold? Yes. Like this is paradise for a cyclist. So I'm gonna chug that. No. No. I'll chug first. Oh my god, that's cold. Fill up and we're good. Fill up. So good. And in Georgian we say "Madloba," which means thank you. And then he says "Ara pris," which means nothing. Don't worry about it. Okay, back on road. Let's go. So Sagan went for a KOM, and obviously I can't keep that pace. So I lost him, and now I'm trying to find him. So hopefully he's okay, but we're climbing 9%. Yikes. Not one single car for the past hour. Beautiful. So this was the portion of the ride where Sagan went for a KOM, and we basically lost paths, but then we're gonna catch up again and get back on road. But you can see just even this mild descent is just so beautiful, very inspiring to ride. And obviously, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, my fitness was very, very low coming back from surgery that happened in February. So I'm regaining my fitness and not trying to overdo it. So at this point in time, these hills were very, very challenging. So the fact I was even able to finish this ride, we meet up right here because that's where he went for the KOM up the road. But basically, I'm just gonna talk as we go down this descent and just look at the beauty of it. I've had this on another video of my channel, but just very, very big, wide, no cars, very, very safe as long as you're away from the main city. But just the fitness aspect of this ride was very eye-opening to me, at least from the fact that coming back from injury and the different terrain, doing a very flat ride in the main city is pretty easy, even with the extra weight and lack of fitness. But as soon as you go into the hills, there's no way you can just pretend and have that fitness, because if you're not in the pace line, it literally doesn't matter. It's all power to weight ratio. So if we look at the stats on Strava that I have here for myself, there was 51% of the time we were climbing, so that's 3 hours and 33 minutes. Cadence was roughly 76 RPMs. That's the median cadence. Weighted average power was 207 watts. Best 20-minute power was 243. So the normalized power is 200 watts. So in terms of today, or that ride, not today, but that ride, in terms of the intensity, for someone that has never climbed above, I would say 1,500 meters, just because it's kind of unlikely that you'll be able to find that in Southern Ontario, it was very eye-opening. Now, unfortunately, like I was saying, my fitness wasn't there, so I'm very excited, at least for the next season, most likely going into 2022 in terms of May, June, July. I am planning to get my peak fitness back and then really tackle some of these climbs and some of these KOMs and some of these routes and really see the difference in terms of coming back from surgery and seeing where my fitness is. So it's very, very inspiring. At least you have a goal that you can really aim for and say, hey, you know what? I really don't want to struggle on these climbs. Let me get into a very good peak fitness, race ready shape, and then see how my form and times are. So that's one of the goals I've really set. But in terms of the natural beauty, I know I'm just talking over this amazing descending video, but it's just really inspiring. Like, that's all I can say is that when you find, terrain or an atmosphere where you can just descend and climb and don't really have to worry too much about cars, riding becomes very, very enjoyable. And as the ride progresses, it's really hard, at least in this situation. I should have brought more food and more fuel because I'm gonna bonk really, really soon. So we were able to get some food along the way, but it's really, really tricky. So that's why I always think bringing your own food ahead of time is really important. But this is the first time I've ever done 2,000 meters. So in terms of really being able to figure out what's the best fueling strategy is kind of tricky if this is the first time you're tackling a ride. So most likely I should have gradually built up 1,000 meters, 1,500 meters, 2,000 meters, and then 2,500 meters. So the first time doing 2,400 meters relative is going to be a learning experience, to say the least, which I very much got humbled by the Georgian mountains. So it was very, very eye-opening experience, and I really just want to keep optimizing that as time goes on, because I don't plan anytime soon returning to a flat environment for riding. So we've done 1,500 meters of elevation. I'm just exhausted. So Sagan tried going for a KOM. He didn't get it, unfortunately. He had the music in. Music, like having music in your ear is such a good natural stimulant to make you perform better. But anyways, we're basically done for climbing today. Almost, I think it's like 1,800 meters of elevation, so I'm exhausted, but we have like 35, 40 Ks home. The majority is going to be flat now and downhill, so I'm excited to ride that. I am thoroughly exhausted. 2,200 meters. Sagan's wondering why I'm going so slow. I just need carbohydrates. By far, the highest ride I've ever done in my life. 2,200 meters. I need to get home and sleep. Jeez. So basically what you saw there is just pure depletion from my end in terms of enthusiasm, energy, willpower. Well, not willpower, because I ended up finishing the ride, but there was many times where I wanted to stop, and this is not really a light peddler to do, because in the past you've seen I've done a lot of riding in general. So for me not to want to continue shows you I must be pretty depleted, but a challenge is a challenge, and I'm going to try my best to finish the ride off. And Giorgi was a great, riding buddy in terms of knowing the route, knowing my level of fitness. And honestly, this is one thing I always get triggered with riders, is that I've been stronger at points in my cycling career versus other riders, and there's no point of really showing off the other rider, especially if you know you're stronger than them. At that point in time, you're there to obviously ride together, to be an encouragement. And that's what I really liked about Giorgi, was he was very positive, very encouraging, and obviously just understanding that, you know what, I've been fit in the past, and just because I'm now not that fit doesn't mean he has to go for KOMs and like show me off. And that's one thing I probably will be making a video about. This is just the mindset a lot in cycling, and just the elitism sometimes, where it's always about a competition, who's faster, who's better, all that stuff. And I really like when you can just find riding buddies that are just all about the ride. And that's one thing I love about Georgia. I will probably make another video about that as well, in terms of the gear and stuff that I've seen firsthand here, and how I really like how it's not elitism, because it just makes the focus back, like I said, on riding. So that's why I really don't really care. Like if you want to race, you know, we can go to a crate, we can go to a road race, we can do hill climbs. Like if it is designed to be a race, then sure, that's what you're signing up for. But a lot of times when it just comes for normal riding, I just wish most people were focused on that. So that's why I really do enjoy just being an ability to either go by myself or go with someone that has the same mindset, because I remember sometimes people would join while I was riding, and they start trying to like show me off on the next climb, and it's like, what are you doing? Like that, I'm just riding for enjoyment at the moment. So other than this, we're basically descending, and there's going to be a little bit more climbing until we get back to the main city, but I'm pretty much just taking it easy. Yet again, we hit speeds of 72 kilometers, supposedly 80 kilometers an hour, so it's very, very fast. And if you're not used to winding descending roads, especially if this is your first time in the area, I don't think you should full send it, because if you don't know what's around the next corner, then you gotta learn these roads. And there was one section where I hit a speed bump and almost flew off my bike going like 70K. So that's why, at least the first time around, gotta take it easy. And once you build up that confidence, you can go a lot faster. And the one thing I'm really understanding is just with descending, it's one of those things that it's all confidence. Obviously technical skill is needed, but the more you ride a route and the more you're used to speed and assessing your situation and the road and all those obstacles, like anything, like downhill is very technical, so it's not easy. And I feel a lot more confident when there's no cars, so this route was really good, especially when we got to this section with no cars. You can take a little bit more of the road, not feel so scared. So I'm exhausted. I'm curious to see how many calories I burned, but I'm just gonna go home, sleep, eat, refuel. But what a good ride. Now this is the final part of the ride. You can see Sagan is enjoying himself clearly, and we are descending from, I think, about, I would say, 1,200 meters above sea level, and we're probably going to go back down to at least 300 meters, at least for where I live in the main city. And you can see that Sagan's ridden this multiple times. So in terms of his confidence, you'll see right there, he understands what's around the corner, and he will create a big gap. And like I said, there's nothing to be ashamed of if this is your first time riding a course and you don't want to full gas it downhill because you don't know what's around the next corner. And obviously that's one thing too with the riding in Georgia in terms of the cars versus cyclists, because it is a hilly area, and on top of that there's mopeds. I would say for the most part you shouldn't be that scared for descending because they respect the rules, but sometimes you'll have cars overpassing other cars if they're going too slow. So for me, I don't really care that much about full gas descending it because I don't want to risk getting hit by another car that's trying to pass another car. So that's why I like to take it moderately pretty safe downhill. You can see right now we're probably doing around 50, 60 kilometers downhill. And this isn't, I've done this hill a lot faster early in the morning when there's less traffic on the road, but it's just tricky because you really have to know the areas that you're climbing in because, like I said, this isn't a race, this isn't a close course, so I don't really have anything to gain. So I just wanted to show you guys one of my rides. I have another one too where we train on the highway, but basically I was pretty busy, that's why I didn't post this video, but I know you guys want to see what type of riding that I'm doing, and more of these videos to come, especially during 2022, getting that fitness back. It'll be a lot easier to make this content, but what a great ride. 132 kilometers, 7 hours on the bike, and 2,354 meters, and that's a historic relative effort. It says 562 intensity score, 4,343 calories burned. It was 30 degrees. Yeah, that was a crazy ride, and now we're just taking it back to get to at least 130 kilometers. And I would say riding in Georgia, I probably will do a thorough video on this because this is just one of my trainer videos I wanted to post. But riding in Georgia, I will be making a full video. I think it is a very good city to ride in because it does have bike lanes, at least in the downtown core where you most likely would stay, which is where I am right now. And then getting to the mountains and outside the city is relatively easy. If you live from here, it's very safe as long as you stay in the bike lanes and you understand the flow of traffic, because a lot of rules in Georgia they make up by themselves in terms of lanes and making their own rules in terms of when to pass and when not to pass. So you have to be a little bit vigilant. It's very intimidating when you get there, but once you get a little bit comfortable, I'd say training here is very, very easy. Within at least 10 kilometers from where I live, you can get to a hill and get about a 40-minute climb right from your doorstep, which is pretty epic and iconic. So I would say riding here is very, very good, but that's why the fitness is such an important thing, and I will stress on that in future videos talking about Georgia and riding. It's just because if you don't have the fitness, you will struggle uphill because it is not easy. Yes, you can go on flat routes, but it's pretty boring because there's not that many flat routes in Georgia. You're gonna have to be forced to climb eventually, and it is very rewarding. So all in all, I wanted to make this video just to show you guys one of my epic training days. And like I said, 2022, I have big goals, big ambitions, big fitness ambition as well in terms of goals that I set for myself. And I really do want to get better at climbing just because I don't plan on going back to North America anytime soon, and specifically Canada or Toronto or Ontario, because, you know, other parts of North America are hilly, but Ontario, Southern Ontario is not hilly. So I do want to work on that. I want to become a better overall cyclist in terms of climbing and descending. So that is that, and we'll watch the outro. Tomorrow we're going to wash our bikes. Wash our bikes. Ki? Yes?
Tomorrow
wash our bikes.
Yes.
So tomorrow, recovery ride, we're gonna wash our bikes. I'm gonna eat so much food. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Say bye. Giorgi. Why is this guy dying? Okay, who cares? He's not used to the camera for the YouTube. Anyways, like the video, subscribe, and until the next one, keep on pedaling.
More videos.
So if you guys did enjoy this video, I want to keep up with my training and other videos, obviously, that I'll be talking about in terms of cycling industry, racing, fitness, all that juice information and reviews, then smash a like on this video. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, follow my Instagram and Strava, links in the description down below, and until the next one, keep on pedaling.